frustrating thing. I mean, talking about Middlesbrough, I like Mr. K has said here. I mean, they have been on a good run, I think, in the league. I think they've won their last... I tried to do my homework. I think they've won their last 2 games, but obviously they beat Man United on penalties in the last round. I mean, penalties, I think, is a potluck game anyway, Sam. But like you said, we need to turn up tomorrow, because I think we could say we can reach top 4, this, that and the other, but we have to hope for other teams to slip up. At least in the FA Cup, it's a one-off game. And it's in our hands, if that makes sense.
Absolutely have to. Look, I might. You lot are entitled to disagree with me on that, but if I have to be honest, if it ends up with, God forbid, Arsenal getting top 4, but we see ourselves getting ready for an FA Cup final, I would be saying, put all your cards on the table for that one and just win that sodding cup, because I would seriously take that over top 4, just on that heat of that moment when at least we've still got something to fall back on and look forward to. And that's why it's tomorrow, and we cannot take Middlesbrough for mugs. Like, yes, they've lost their last 2 out of 3 games, but I know they're still contenders for the playoffs. If I'm not, I checked that from last week and they were still in it for the playoffs, if I wasn't mistaken. So do not take these teams for mugs. Just get the job done. Kill the game off as early as possible. That's all we need to do.
100%.
Like, if it means having to start Harry Kane because we're not going to have any other goal scorer, so be it.
And that's the thing, because I used to be one for rotation, and obviously in the Conference League and all of that jazz, because we should have been beating those teams anyway with a rotation. But Luke, are you kind of on the same wave? Just start the best 11, so be it. I know we have Everton, but we have I think it's about 6 days to recover because we played them on the Monday. So why not go all gung-ho and just play our best team?
Yeah, 100%. I think Conte's on the same level as well. Like, ever since he came in, when we played those Conference League games, when we played the FA Cup in previous rounds, he has gone for a strong team. There will be a couple of changes, I suspect, here and there, but there won't be anything major. And I think that it's important to do that. I agree, Sam, you can't take these teams for mugs whatsoever. But I also think, of course they beat United in the last round. Like, there's always a team that does well in the FA Cup, but then they never go that far. Do you know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be losing against championship teams. There's no way you should. And we're not talking about, I can't even remember who's top now anymore, but like West Brom or someone who's doing really well, or Bournemouth or whoever it is, right, is doing really well in the championship. We're talking about a team that are pushing for the playoffs. So what we're talking, 9th, 10th in the championship, as opposed to a team that
8th right now.
Eighth in the championship,
with only 1 point behind Sheffield United, who sit on 7th. Look, I agree with what you're saying in a way. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying in a way, saying shouldn't be losing to these teams, whatever. Doesn't mean that we're entitled to win against these teams. We got to.
Of course not. Of course, you have to put that performance out. Of course you do, and I think that's what I mean. Like, Conte won't go into this game and play the likes of Harvey White, Dane Scarlett. It won't be possible to do that. We will play the likes of Harry Kane, and I wouldn't be surprised. Max said, if Zeki plays again, I think that it's really, really important for a lot of these players to get a lot of consistent good performances under their belts. Yes, we beat City, but then we went straight back in with an unchanged team and lost to Burnley. Then we beat Leeds. So a few of these players, they need to have good, consistent games. I wouldn't be surprised if we kept the same wing backs because they had a great game at the weekend. Why not keep these players in, bring in consistency, and move that forward? 6 days between games. That's plenty of time to play the same squad.
It's like we haven't had that for a long time as well, to have a gap that big. Do you know what I mean? So, Max, it's kind of what you said. Obviously, Decky could be the one that gets on the score sheet, but kind of like what Luke says, I want to build on from that, because like we all joke and laugh about, we're so consistent at being inconsistent. So why not bring some consistency into the side and play those wing backs again? Do you think that would probably be a smart, wise move?
I mean, after that victory, everyone's got to be buzzing, because there wasn't really a player that put a foot wrong, was there? Other than oh, that was Lloris putting a foot wrong. That was Other than that Lloris mistake, which is just you're bound to a Lloris mistake, aren't we? We're just lucky we were 3-4-0 up at the time, so it's all right. It's more of a comedy moment, but I just want, I've said it before, I'm just repeating myself, but the FA Cup would keep the likes of Kane at the club. It would keep Conte. It would it would mean I'll talk about the summer again. It would mean that summer would invest, but the trophy. It would just be something that we haven't seen. I've never seen us won the FA Cup in my lifetime. Like, it's ridiculous for a team that's got this massive stadium and best striker in the world that we always argue that he is, and potentially one of the best keepers in the league. We don't like the stats don't add up with where they should, if that makes sense. Like, we deserve we deserve it, but you can't deserve it if you're not consistent. So we just got to go there tomorrow, beat Middlesbrough. Like, don't say, oh yeah, we're going to play play Scarlet, like Luke said. Like, we got to beat them. Go 3-0 up, then bring these players on, then give them experience. Don't go there and bow down to them and say, look, okay, you can play your football. No, why don't we go there, get an early goal, then they got to attack us. That's exactly what happened to. It's just we couldn't do that against Burnley, but the difference is with Burnley, they're a Premier League side, and they're a Premier League side for a reason. But there's no Premier League side is meant to be like there's no easy game in the Prem, really, is there? It's just you've got to have we just got world class players on the pitch, and Leeds haven't. But yeah, Middlesbrough in the FA Cup, I don't know. It's so frustrating because I sit here and I'm like, we should be winning that. We all know, all four of us know that we should be winning tomorrow, but we won't make it easy. It'll be 70th minute, 0-0. Oh, what's happening? Like, I can't.
We all know that we should win, and we all expect us to win, but then every single one of us has that part of us that thinks, we could lose it.
It's so stupid, and I think that's Conte is one of the only guys that you could bring in and believe that something's going to change.